Well, good morning. It is Friday. I love Fridays. Kind of get things wrapped up. I'm looking forward to studying some more for our Sunday morning's message. And I hope that you are already gearing up your mind to be a part of a great time in God's Word this coming Sunday. Lots of offers, lots of opportunities, and extra things being added on as options for you. Please check your email so that you'll know exactly how you can participate. This morning we're going to be in Numbers 24, verses I think 12 through 14, and just a couple of verses, but I have to give you a little bit of background. As the children of Israel were traveling across the wilderness, they were encountering nations that were afraid of them. They were big, and so the nations were concerned, and a particular leader named Balak is really concerned, and so he tries to get this guy who's had what appears to be some sort of spiritual power in the past, and obviously this pagan king has no idea that Balaam is actually tapping into the power of God himself to get this information. He's been really knowledgeable in the past, and so he reaches out to him to curse the children of Israel. And the reason why I bring this up today, and it doesn't even seem like it's that big of a deal to us today, but right now I think a lot of people are living in a great deal of fear that somehow maybe God isn't noticing, or maybe it has nothing to do with COVID-19 or riots or fires. Sometimes we just live as if God is uninformed, or God's power is not as strong as we thought it was, and somehow things have gotten out of control. Well, Balaam says something to Balak in this thing, in this verse, that I want you to see. Because Balak gets mad several times at Balaam for not cursing Israel, and he keeps telling him, I can't. Listen to what he says. Verse number 12, he says, And Balaam said to Balak, Spake I not also to thy messengers, which thou sayest unto me, saying, If Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the commandment of the Lord, to do either good or bad of mine own hands. But what the Lord saith, that will I speak. And so Balaam knew that he couldn't go beyond what God had ordained. God had to give the nod of approval for Balaam to say even good things. And so just understand this, that your life is absolutely in the center of God's grasp. Now, you can cause God to withhold his protection. You can cause God to withhold his blessings, but you can't cause yourself to be outside of God's control. He will make happen in your life what's absolutely necessary, either for his plan or for you to be corrected back onto the path. Now, a lot of people live their whole lives fighting God. But when we recognize that there's no way to get outside of the will of God in the sense of his overriding will, then we'll be able to live in a great deal of peace and harmony. The world activities around us can only get to us if God wills it so, or God allows it to be so. God is in absolute control. And so as you face your day today, know that God is absolutely in charge, that nothing will happen to you, good or bad, unless God gives the nod of approval. Unless it's the word of the Lord, it will not happen. I know the world thinks that, look what happened in our world today. We got outside of what everybody thinks is God's control, but that just isn't true. Things are going according to plan. The Bible even predicts that there'll be times like the ones we're in right now. In fact, I was reading in Amos, and I'll probably bring that up on another day today, that just sounded so much like the day in which we live. And so I want to encourage you, God is in absolute control. No one can do anything without God's nod of approval, good or bad. And so rest in that today, and I hope that's an encouragement to you as you head into the weekend. Don't forget that as we head into the weekend, you've got the next 24 to 48 hours to prepare your heart to be engaged in God's Word on His day, which we call Sunday. And I hope that you will start chiseling out God's place in your life again. I know that people have gotten off their normal routines. Make sure that the Lord's day is the Lord's day. I hope that today, your Friday, is a great conclusion to a great work week. Have a blessed day.